I'm just back from the gym, hence the jersey and the house is a bit messed up. So what I wanted to clear out is why are we making book recommendations and why have I used the word, the term we and not I? Because right now what I'm planning to do is start the company called The Savage White Productions. So what we will plan to do is we have a site called The Label Rebel Official, and we will be posting blogs, we'll be posting, transcripts of the videos that I make and lyrics and whatever can help people to get the better versions of themselves. So on YouTube, what I will focus right now is podcast.
Can a relationship work after 2 breakups?
Oh shit, tricky questions. Depends again. I believe it's all about communication. I think right now we've reached ऐसा period कि no one wants to communicate anything. I believe this Gary Vee philosophy, and he says something like the key to solving any issue or issue with relationship or friendship is communicating. If you aren't communicating well, you over communicating what he says, but people ऐसा हो रहा है कि 2 बार हो गया तो अब क्या कम्युनिकेट करना, अब तो मूव ऑन करना है. एंड आई बिलीव अब लाइफ ऐसा हो गया कि ना किसी नए को फाइंड करना बहुत इजी हो गया है कि विद Tinder and everything, like it's everything is so accessible because of social media and that all. See, I think 20-30 years before I was reading a book and it was like people were getting married only to people next to their houses or in their buildings. But now you see people getting married to some girl in USA, some guy in Canada, and that's how it's happening, right? Because the world has come so close. So I believe people, वो जो commitment होता है ना, they don't want to give another try. And one more thing, Varun, you should bring him on the podcast. Varun was one of my friends and he used to tell something like, there are people who ऐसे लोग रहते हैं bro relationship में कि समझ एक बार वो relationship टूट गया ना तो वो, and when you mend it again they see a knot there, so they don't like knots in a relationship. So the third that is mouth keep talking. I will see how I can find a middle ground for entertainment and education, so you guys get both. And then what I am planning right now is book recommendations. I am reading a ton of books, or at least I have a lot of books in my to be read list. So once I finish reading each and every book, I will recommend it to you guys. So like this one, subscribe to this new channel, hit the bell icon, and I hope you enjoy this video. So the first book recommendation I have for you guys is I Can't Make This Up by Kevin Hart. So if you guys are living under a rock, or if you don't know who Kevin Hart is, he's a comedian, he's an actor, he's a superstar, and he's super successful, he's an hustler, and he is damn inspiring. So watch this whole video. I'll be giving you tips and tricks like how to find a book that you want to read, or you Google about the person and find his work, what he has done in his lifetime, what he has achieved, and what you might like in his work, so you can get a better understanding. Do I want to read this book or no? Because our time is valuable, right? And this book recommendation, believe me, is one of my favorite book recommendations, because this book is one of the best audiobooks that I have heard to.
So even if you have more money than you'll ever spend for the rest of your life, that's not what it's about.
No.
It's about the inspiring people and the influence and constantly giving back and moving forward in a positive way. And the only way you can do that is to stay active.
It's the story, man.
Yeah.
We're all writing a book. What's your book look like? What does your fucking book look like? Like your life is a book. You got a bunch of chapters in your book, but when they close that book, how good was the book? How good was your book? What was the ending to your book? If the ending to my book can be so amazing because of all that was done, not the money, all that was accomplished, the first to do, the man that did this, he caused the merger between this. Because of his commitment and growth to this, the communities were then given this, made education this, gave books, gave computers, gave all of the things that can be associated with you and your existence. become a part of the chapters in your book. So my drive is about my book. I was a New York Times #1 bestseller. I'm writing another book.
You writing a book right now?
Yeah, what happens if you are a 2-time New York Times #1 bestseller? If you get the 2, what happens if you get the 3? Hey man, how do books become successful? Who publishes them? I want to start a publishing company, Heartbeat Publishing. Why not? That's the thing. All I'm doing is sparking the awareness in others to go, why not? Why can't I create? Why can't I start? Why can't I be a business? Why can't I be a CEO? Why can't I be a tech guru? There's so much that some people just don't understand they can do. Let me be a spark to show how many different things. You don't have to do just one thing. When it's all said and done, my book is going to be full of all the shit that Kevin Hart did. Because I never was content with doing just 1, 2, or 3. Why not? I
found this book recommended to me on Amazon.com. You know, Amazon trying to chip off money with the "you may like this too" recommendations. So I did click on the look inside button. You know, maybe it was my boredom, or maybe my luck was actually aligned perfectly that day, because it worked amazing. I clicked and I just ran through the first pages and I reached on chapter 1, and the chapter 1 was named "Birth of a Sex Symbol." Dude, how amazing is that? Amazing in the sense it was interesting, it was cocky, and it was funny. Most of all, you know, it grabbed my attention, and that's what the book does. It just grabs your attention right from the first page to the last page. The way it is written, it's just beautiful. And I read the first chapter, and the way, you know, when you think about Kevin Hart, you think about a person who's really funny, and this book is going to be nothing but a comedy book, you know, just filled with jokes, cheap humor, etc. But that isn't. This is a book that has real emotions and focuses on something that is the emotions of being real, and you know, there is no BS in this, like no bullshit, and that is so amazing. So I read the chapter 1. It told right from the chapter 1, it said, like, you know, how Kevin was a mistake actually, and still he never took the way, you know, in the chapter 1, you know, a person could actually crib about it or rant about it in a way and give it a very negative approach. But all throughout the book, you know, you can see one beautiful thing about Kevin is that he is so freaking positive. And it's not that fake positive, it's like he believes that thing, that is his perspective, that is who he wants to be, and that is what he like wants to put out in the world. And that's what I think he does with comedy. So I read the chapter 1 and I was thinking to buy the book, but then I didn't get time. Eventually one of my friend uses Audible, and I was like, wow, this is even there is an audiobook format, and I checked the audiobook format, and to my surprise, this audiobook is literally one of the best audiobook I have ever heard. Dude, Kevin Hart, now imagine, Kevin Hart's writing, maybe you can think it's here, but Kevin Hart himself, with all his amazing performances, with his jokes, with his timings, and with his, you know, acting, dude, the bar is set way too high. You can listen and you can like feel, it's like Kevin is right beside me, and the way he tells the whole story, too good. Now of course I will recommend this book to you guys, but I would, more than the book, I would recommend this audiobook, because it will be one of the best experiences you have. And you know, this book is more like an emotional roller coaster. There is this highs and lows, because Kevin wanted to be a Nike executive. That was his biggest dream. Can you imagine? The biggest comedian on this planet just wanted to be a Nike executive. And that's what the book is, right? It shows you the real side about life. Like, you never think that big, you never want to chase those big things, because you are in this fear that maybe it's never possible, or maybe we are too ordinary and maybe we are too normal. And a book like this just gives you that 1%, you know, faith, that 1% spark in your soul ki just maybe even you are possible for greatness, or just maybe you can do this too if you are really, you know, persistent. There are amazing quotes from this book, and I'll see how I can use these quotes in this book and make this video better. So another tip that I would suggest to all my viewers are that whenever you buy a memoir or a self-help book or any of these books, what you can do is you can Google the author and see videos about them. So what this does, it gives you a view of their personality, or are you interested in them, or most of all, are you interested in what they are saying, what they have to say, right? So most of these authors have TED talks, they have interviews, they are on podcast, and you check any one of those or multiple, depending on how much time you have and your interest, you'll understand that okay, this person is pretty cool, you know what, let's read this book. So the same thing I did with Kevin Hart. I heard his Saturday Night Live stand up or monologue, I think that was, and it was pretty amazing. His personalities, on stage presence, like the timing, beautiful. So I was like, you know what, I gotta give this a shot. So I started reading this whole book. So I think 3 things that I would recommend you from Kevin Hart is the his stand up, his Netflix stand up, his Saturday Night Live monologues, and there is this show called The Big House, that, and a podcast where he is Joe Rogan's podcast. Kevin Hart is a guest there. These 4 things, definitely give it a watch and then read the book.